right spot.
Well, that ain't good.
Okay.
Welcome back
Welcome back.
to your weekly TIFU digest, hosted by The Lousy Show.
Oh, that's too good for this show.
That's true. But also, what is good for the show is you subscribing. So go ahead and click the button and the bell icon to stay up to date on all things Lousy. We upload 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for your viewing pleasure. We're trying out something new. We're seeing how it works. It is a little too good to be lousy, but we're workshopping it.
Yep. We got to take the good ideas and throw those out and only work with the lousy ideas.
Only mid.
Only like the mid, not so great ideas. We're not trying to be a big YouTube channel by any means.
You know what's not mid though? Into the AM.
Very true.
I'm actually rocking one of my favorite shirts right now.
That one is a dope shirt. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, and you can also get a dope shirt like this, a nice graphic tee, or basic tees, or hats, or hoodies, or whatever your heart's content with by going to the link in the description or in the pinned comment, intotheam.com/lousy. Again, intotheam.com/lousy. And when you get there, we got a little treat for you. Sam, tell them what it is.
Oh, yeah, we got an awesome one. If you go and pick out any design or pack of tees or hat, hoodie, all the things he said, we've got 10% off for you if you use our code LOUSY at checkout. That's LOUSY. And they have so many good things, just like what he was saying. And they have new shirts all the time, new designs every week. So definitely go and check it out in the link in the description and in the pinned comment.
That's right. Again, intotheam.com/lousy, intotheam.com/lousy. Go check it out right now. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on. Now that that's out of the way, oh yeah, fuck honey. Yeah, how could we forget? Uninstall that shit. You don't need it. It's terrible. Save your favorite creators heartache and hassle by just uninstalling it right now. I feel like I've said this before. I feel like you know who Scotty Fitness is? The guy with the ginger with the big mustache? Yeah, it's like fuck B-Shred. Like, hey, Future Sam, fuck honey. There you go. Just
what am I putting there?
I don't know. Some fucking honey logo or whatever with a big red X through it.
Okay. I'm assuming that's what Scotty Fitness does.
Yeah.
Okay. I know him. I don't know him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I know of him. I know the fucker with a big mustache and he's jacked as shit. I don't watch any of his shit, to be honest with you.
He just finds the funniest pictures of V-Shred and uses them. So yeah, just do that.
Should I just put up like the honey that's got fucking like Viagra in it?
You know what? Since we're talking about it, we'll workshop it. So I'm already here. All right. So Future Sam can use me as a poster boy real quick. So like, fuck honey. What would you put here?
I would put Winnie the Pooh, more specifically, having his way with a jar of honey.
But it has the honey logo on it, right?
I'm sure. Yeah, we can do whatever you want.
There you go.
I'm just into the furry shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yikes! AI generation about to go off the fucking chain, dude.
ChatGPT about to ask me some questions.
Are you okay?
No,
not even slightly. But no, we're gonna. You know what? We're being a little too good, especially on our time. But I think we've hit that lousy mark where we can go ahead and jump into today's stories. And if you're new here, this is a segment we've been doing for a long time. So welcome. If you're returning, you already know what it's about. We got 4 stories keyed up for y'all. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ended on a high note every single week. And actually this week, we should probably preface now by telling you that we have an update from a story. First time this has happened.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the first time it's happened. We have an update to a story we've read, and to make it even easier for you, all you have to do is go to last week's episode and watch it. So go do that, and then come back to this. Pause here.
Might even timestamp with a link to that video. You know that little card thing that's up in the corner? I don't know which way I am because I'm
it's like it's up here.
I so hope that's wrong.
Yeah, whatever. just click the card, go watch that story, come back here to make all the sense. So, Sam, who's reading first?
Oh, I didn't check that. I was so prepared for everything else.
See, that's the lousy part. That's the lousy
Hey,
part.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. All right, like
You're the unofficial, read keeper, reader keep.
I read first.
Oh, that's a face. That's a face.
Oh, did it? Oh, wow. What the fuck? Why did it freeze there?
That's a face. I'm sending it to you right now.
Thanks.
you're staring into my soul, dude.
I'm just gonna zoom in on the eyes and
yes. Who's reading first?
I am reading first.
All right. Story number 4, off to you, buddy.
Yep. Number 4 for the week. Today I fucked up by not preparing for a tattoo. I had a very large tattoo plan for today, and I thought maybe I could do it all in one session. Usually for a tattoo, you should eat and drink plenty before going, as it's quite hard on the body. Also, it's best to have plenty of sleep before. I didn't do that. After a late night at a party, I woke up on 4 hours of sleep and could get back to bed. Because I'm on a diet, I only had a light breakfast and made my way to the tattoo parlor. So I started the day pretty low on energy. A few hours later, having not finished the entire piece, I left the parlor.
You skipped a whole part.
Did I? Oh yeah,
sitting waiting.
Sorry, again, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Sitting waiting for the artist to set up, I realized that I was feeling quite tired. So, but not only in a sleepy way, rather than an exhausted way. So I figured I'd be fine just lying on my side for a few hours while the tattoo got done. Now we're back to where I was. A few hours later, having not finished the entire piece, I left the parlor in pretty good shape. Wandered around the city, waiting to catch my train back home. Visited a pharmacy, grabbed a coffee. But as I waited in the train station an hour later, I started to feel lightheaded and rested against a wall for a few minutes. As the time to go to the platform approached, I got up, started walking, and promptly fainted. I woke up in a pool of blood with my head gashed, against the tiles of the station, surrounded by onlookers and a few helpful people. They called the ambulance. I went to the nearest emergency room, and after 13 stitches in my eyebrows, I'm left with a hell of a scar and a headache. I'm lucky I didn't get a concussion. I got home about 5 hours after finishing my tattoo, with pain in places I expected, and some I didn't. Now I need to go to get the stitches taken out, and I'll complete the tattoo in a few weeks. TLDR, fainted after a tattoo because I was low on food and sleep, ended up in the ER. Big yikes.
I'm not... Okay. So, like, it's not uncommon for me to know how tattoos and shit works. Please, for the love of God, eat and drink before you go. Like, the sleep factor isn't a big factor. I've gone and gotten tattoos on like 2 hours of sleep before. Not a big deal. And if you're getting it in a comfortable spot, like me, when I got my calves tattooed, I fell asleep, slept through the whole thing. As a matter of fact, funny story. I was dating a chick at one time. I was getting my Phantom of the Opera tattoo worked on. Will, mutual friend, very close. He was tattooing me. My ex-girlfriend at the time, of course, was standing there at the booth, and she was right behind the wall watching. And she wasn't listening. I looked at him and said, "Hey, wake me up when you're done." He's like, "All right, say less," because he had already done my flash tattoo. So I'm head down on the pad, arms crossed. He tells me later that she looked at me and said, "Don't be a bitch." And he goes, "Who you talking to?" And she said, "Him." And he goes, "He's asleep." She goes, "Nuh-uh." He goes, "Watch this," and smacks me on the ass. I went, "Huh? What?" Like, it happens. It happens. So, sleep isn't that big of a deal, but for the love of God, eat and drink. I'm a strong proponent to, it's really good to like get you a good sugary coffee or a Monster or something like that before you go. My go-to, for some reason, like whenever I go, my go-to is always like a QT sub or like a good QT sub and a Monster.
I miss sheets.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, The last time I got anything done was I got my USDA grade, USDA Prime logo on my thigh. And I had coffee and a breakfast sandwich right before that because the tattoo was only going to be like 30 minutes tops.
Yeah, I've only got one, so I don't really have experience in that front. But I do know that it's a tattoo is basically assaulting your skin, and your body's going to respond in kind. So you're going to be exhausted afterwards, especially if it's a big one. So yeah, you got to prepare for that, and maybe not party the night before. You know, that's it wasn't so much the party, but like if you're hungover, that's not helping you. If you're, eating lightly just because you don't feel good, that's not helping you. I think there was kind of a comedy of errors there, that just kind of led to everything that happened to OP there.
I agree on some, but I say there's one you're missing, and that is, and if there's any tattoo artists out there, I've been told this, please correct me if I'm wrong, or your personal preference, of course. Drinking the night before is not smart because you are going to bleed like a son bitch. That is not good. Just don't do it.
Don't take ibuprofen beforehand. Like a few things there, but yeah, that's a fuck up for sure.
That's definitely a fuck up. Yeah. Yep. I hope you feel better.
Yep.
I definitely hope you feel better.
It sounds like they're okay if they're posting about it. So
yeah. Well, I mean, like those stitches though could be a pain in the ass, like rocking headaches for a couple days. Just crank back a few Tylenol, relax. First comment here. A much younger me went completely hungover, dehydrated, and on an empty stomach to a tattoo appointment years back. It wasn't a particularly painful tattoo, actually, on the milder side, and I stood up to go to the bathroom halfway through and fainted. Woke up to my artist waving a candy bar under my nose, thinking I had low blood sugar. Chugged some water, ate the candy bar, and the rest of the tattoo was a lot more pleasant, yet extremely embarrassing. Yeah.
I'm sure most artists have some horror stories or some funny stories about, their canvases fainting.
I'm trying to think if there was ever a moment in which I felt like I was going to faint.
I just remember watching on like Ink Masters too, like when they do the final masterpiece or whatever, and people get like their entire bodies tattooed in one fucking session. Do you see now they're doing anesthesia? Like they're putting people under to get full body tattoos, which if you want to speed run it, I guess go for it. But
I've heard of anesthesia. I've heard numbing cream. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I like getting tattoos because one, they're really cool, and two, I like the pain. What?
Anyway, next comment here. Sometimes it hits you hard. I had a large tattoo, and given all my previous tats were easy, figured this one would be the same. Wrong. I finished the tat, met my partner, and we went for dinner. I got as far as the starter before I started shaking. Felt very fluey and feverish. I just needed to go home and get into bed. Seems to be the reaction if I sit for more than 4 hours. I've got an all-day session booked next week, so if anyone has any tips, hit me up.
This got me thinking if I've ever had a moment in which I felt like I was going to pass out.
I don't think you haven't mentioned it to me, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
He's just that.
My biggest tattoo, no. My biggest tattoo is, of course, this. And I did all the line work for this in one sitting, and that was 5.5, maybe 6 hours. Like, granted, we took breaks in between, but I don't even think then I was pain. I remember by the end of it, I was in pain. Because you go from pain to numb. And if you can find that good window where you stay numb, then you won't ride it back out. But I went pain, numb, pain. And like by the time I was on, I was like I remember he was doing the line work on my titty, and like it's a big like biomech heart. And I remember I'm sitting here and I'm just like holding on to the chair, and I'm like, I'm okay. And he's like, stop flexing. I'm like, I'm not. He goes, yes, you are. And I was like, fuck. Like I'm trying to like pull it back. He starts drilling me, and he's like, stop flexing. Yeah, he's like, stop flexing. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I couldn't help it. Your body just naturally starts pushing back, like, stop. So yeah, tattoos are fun. I recommend everybody get them. I need to go get another one soon.
I need to get a second one eventually.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Next story.
Moving on.
Number 3. Today I fucked up by forgetting my AirPods were connected during an important Zoom meeting. So this happened earlier today, and I still want to crawl into a hole. I work remotely, and we had a big Zoom meeting with several higher-ups in attendance. I was just listening in, so I muted myself and decided to grab a quick snack from the kitchen. My AirPods were in, and I was still connected to the meeting while I rummaged through my cabinets. Now, my dog has this habit of sneaking into the kitchen whenever I open a bag of chips. So as soon as I ripped open a bag, I whispered, "You sneaky little bastard, I see you." Except I wasn't whispering to myself. I was still connected to the meeting. I didn't realize anything was wrong until I heard dead silence, followed by my manager saying, who are you talking to?" At this point, I froze. I checked my screen, and sure enough, the little green microphone icon was on. I panicked and blurted out, my dog? Cue awkward laughter from a few people, but I could tell some of the higher-ups were not amused. One of them dryly said, "Let's try to keep the side conversations to a minimum." The worst part, the meeting was being recorded for future reference. So now my little outburst is officially immortalized in company history. TLDR, forgot my AirPods were connected, called my dog a sneaky bastard during an important Zoom meeting, and now it's recorded forever.
Big yikes.
That's a fuck
I mean,
up.
at least what you said wasn't great, but it could have been way worse.
Could have been way worse.
Way worse. Because I'm sure some people, not to name anybody, might be cursing at the people in the meeting while they're on mute.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep.
I don't, well, see, and the thing, no, I was trying to like salvage it, but like, no, you fucked up, dude. Like in a corporate scenario, there's no way you're getting out of that. You're fucked.
Nah, not with the big wigs that typically have egos bigger than their 401ks. But
yeah.
First comment here is I was on a call with like 30 plus attorneys and someone interjected in the middle of a super boring presentation. "Oh my God, what is in your mouth? Is that poop? Oh my God, is that poop? Oh no." And then she realized her mic was on and cut it. We all died laughing. The presenter took a break and asked us to vote on whether we thought she was talking to a toddler or a dog. It was a dog, but she did also have a toddler.
Jesus Christ. Next one down says, "I was once on a call with a couple hundred people. Someone decided to take a shit without muting." Grunt sploosh.
I'd have to leave the meeting after that. Like, even if I just heard it, I'd be like, nope.
Just imagine the first thing you hear is a like, damn, son. I'd be that leader, and I'd be like, "Don't hurt yourself now. Work it out slow. Come on." Oh my God. Man. See, this is for the company meetings we're in, it can't get awkward because they play like super cheesy, like 90s white people pop music.
Ew.
Yeah, for like the start of the meeting, and then like they'll get in and they're like, "All right, team, let's go," and I'm just like, like, I'm listening, I'm here, yeah. But you know, I also make sure to keep myself always on mute unless I'm absolutely certain I don't need to be.
Oh, I'm making sure that thing is on mute.
Yeah,
like, every time. But
all right,
moving on.
Next one, and it's a doozy. This is the update.
The update was number 2.
Yeah.
Like, are we doing it before 2 or after? I was thinking like in the order that they were listed.
Just cut here.
What? Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button while you're here and join the Lousy Listeners. And also, click the join button. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Lousy member where you can get some awesome perks, cool emotes, and interact with Sam and I. Also, click the link to join our Discord and have fun with all the other Lousy Listeners. Let's get back to the video.
And we're back.
I'm leaving all that in. No, just kidding.
JK to everyone. 5 stories for y'all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ending on a high note. Story number 3. Sam, take it away, buddy.
Today we fucked up. More than anything, today Joe fucked up. But you know, just if we have to cast some blame. No, just kidding. All right, number 3.
Add that to my list. I'm just here.
Today I fucked up. Took a gas station boner pill drink. So about last week, I went to a Walgreens urgent care combo since my partner needed to get a urine test for a UTI. While waiting around for the appointment to be finished, I ended up looking in the sexual wellness section because I needed lube and sometimes like to laugh at the strange male sex health products. Since all I hear about gas station boner pills is that they're snake oil and do not do anything, I had the bright idea of trying one out. I spotted one on the shelf that seemed the most interesting. The Extends Original Formula Male Enhancement Drink. Brother, that's name brand. Cherry flavored to top it off. The package was covered in a strange sticky substance. Should have taken it as a sign, but said screw it. Grabbed it and checked out. That drink sat in a cabinet for a week, but we both agreed to try it out when the UTI passed, and we were both in the mood. That day finally came, and I grabbed that bottle, ripped the top off, and took a massive swig like I was in the desert and dying of dehydration. First 30 minutes, I felt nothing. After that, I entered hell. That shit made me feel like the Incredible Hulk. That shit made me feel like the Terminator. That shit made me feel like the Predator. That shit made me feel like Max Payne. That shit is what Hunter S. Thompson was on when he was writing the Rum Diary. I could feel my heart beating out of my chest, and I do not know if it was even beating in time. I thought I needed to get an EKG, but took a muscle relaxer instead to kill the feeling. Probably one of the worst feelings I've ever had, and I do not recommend it. TLDR, took a gas station boner pill. Felt like I was going to have a heart attack. Never doing that again.
But did you fuck? Like,
asking the real questions here.
Like, these are hard-hitting questions, bro. Like, motherfucker gave himself heart palpitations, so just wanted to get hard. Like, just don't. Just don't, man. Like, every time I see those in a gas station, I just giggle because I'm like, some schmuck is out there just ripping these daily, staying semi, always prepped. This motherfucker decided, you know what? Fuck semi. I want a heart attack.
Yeah, I wonder what do you drink the whole thing, or like in one go, or do you like literally sip it and it's supposed to last for a while? Like,
I'm assuming it's on the label. I imagine if you drink the whole thing, you'll actually start to glow.
just from the uranium 238 that's in it.
Hey. Callback. Whoom. That's a callback for you.
Yep.
First comment here. I'm no doctor, but mixing whatever this was with a muscle relaxer was the real fuck up. Facts. Oh my god,
Tucson
dude.
crossfaded on some extends and muscle relaxer.
Sticking blitzes. Hell yeah.
I think it's more like an El Paso crossfaded, honestly.
The only thing I can think is worse than this is like fucking chugging NyQuil and then a monster right behind it, and you're walking around like this.
Just actively having a stroke while trying to stroke. Next comment here. Wikipedia says that your reaction is most likely coming from yohimbe extract. It's used to wake up dogs when they've been sedated.
Yeah, we got that dog in me. What you doing, baby? Woof, woof. All right, moving on. moving on. Don't take boner pill drinks. Just don't. All right. Number 2, actual. This is the update to last week's story. So buckle up, Buttercup. Today I fucked update. Gave my youngest son advice on happy relationships and my oldest son's girlfriend to dumped him. Okay.
Got to work on that one a little bit there.
Yep. That's right. I've had a few requests for an update, but life and its troubles kept happening each new day since my original post. I made some comments on the original post, but there were just too many to answer. There were just too many to answer everyone and deal with the PMs people sent me. I'll try to answer the many and varied questions in this update. I'd like to clarify that my oldest son is a young adult and no longer lives in my home. He came over long enough to drop off my youngest son's gift, eat some cake, and left with his girlfriend. My daughter and youngest son are still teenagers. My daughter and my oldest son's girlfriend met through my son, but they are still friends even after the breakup. With that said, on with the update. After my oldest son and his girlfriend broke up, he yelled at me for it. Many things have been said, and some things I didn't know were revealed, and some secrets were told. I gave my son a couple days to cool off before I spoke with him. My wife tried calling a few times, but he wouldn't answer his phone, so I went over to his apartment. His roommate convinced him to let me in to talk, and we did. We also did some shouting, a bit of yelling, and hugged once as well. This is when I found out that my son got a job offer out of state a few weeks ago. It's part of an apprenticeship through his trade school. He is considering it, and this was one of the reasons for the recent tension between him and his girlfriend. She wanted him to stay here, where her family is, and he wanted her to go with him if he took the apprenticeship. It's almost twice the hourly rate he makes at his current job, and the apprenticeship will pay for some of his time spent in classes, although the cost of living is higher there as well. Some people pointed out that my son is a bit misogynistic, and I initially thought that may be a bit true, but I learned part of that is from some of the examples he has seen in my home. I talked to him about this and discovered that he sees things about my marriage in a way they were never meant to be seen. One thing that my son pointed out to me was that was this thing my wife and I call magic coffee cup. You see, when my wife is home, I'm not allowed to make my own coffee. My wife has always made my coffee since we first started dating. This isn't something I have ever demanded. It's just the way things have always been. It became a joke between my wife and I when we were dating that my coffee cup must be magic because I never had to fill it myself. Now, after many years of marriage, it's become something I don't even think about. My wife will pick my empty cup up and say some silly magic words like hocus pocus or bippity boppity boo while waving her hands over it. And then she takes it to the kitchen and makes me a fresh cup. Sometimes I'll pick up my empty cup and say some magic words and then shake the cup or peek inside and then in a pitiful whiny voice say to my wife, "Honey, my magic cup isn't working again." The few times I've tried to make my own coffee when she is home, she gets up, hip checks me out of the way, and makes it for me. I learned my lesson long ago, but my kids never saw that play out when it first developed. This is not the misogynistic act my oldest son believes it to be. I do not think it is my wife's place to have to slave for me by making me coffee. She does it because she loves doing it, not because she has to. If she told me today that I had to make my coffee from now on, I won't say a peep. I'll kiss my wife and go make my coffee. This has become part of another running joke that we have going. The joke is we each don't let the other do specific things around the house so that the other forgets how to do them so we can never leave each other. Officially, I do all the laundry and she does all the dishes. In reality, she does wash the occasional load and I do the dishes every once in a while, but we never admit it to doing so. I learned to cook her favorite foods so she forgot how to make them, and she does the same for mine. For example, she can't make eggs over easy anymore, and I've forgotten how to make a good slop, which is sausage with egg noodles and cream of mushroom and topped with fried onions. Terrible for you, but so good.
Sounds good.
Does sound good. This and other little quirks is part of our love language, and it's taken many years for it to develop. My son mistook the nuanced, unspoken, or joked about parts of our marriage for some sort of male-female traditional marriage role BS. He was seeing the end result of years of small compromises, fights, agreements, and other stuff that led to our way our marriage works today. Now, while I was having that talk with my oldest boy, my wife and daughter were talking with his ex-girlfriend. We all really like her and would hate to see them broken up forever. They discovered all the things my son wasn't telling me. From what they learned, my oldest son has been listening to certain podcasters and TikTok influencers that are very misogynistic. My son wanting her to move out of the state with him while she was reluctant to do so is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to their real problems. When they talked about their futures, they had wildly differing views on what those futures would look like. or it would be like. For example, he got it stuck in his head that women should do the lion's share of the housework. Yikes. Are you dating Harrison? Is your son Harrison Bucker? To be fair, doing the dishes seems like it takes a lot more effort than doing laundry, since most of the time is spent waiting for a dryer cycle to finish. But doing the laundry is more than just washing and folding clothes while watching TV or playing video games. It's changing the linens, changing out the towels and robes in the bathrooms, and changing out and cleaning all the curtains around the home. None of my kids has ever had to put fresh sheets on their beds because I do it for them. My wife has done our bed maybe once in the last half dozen years. Laundry, like dishes, are monsters that you battle endlessly. In a good marriage, you and your partner fight those battles side by side, no matter how you split up the workload exactly. Anyway, I hate to see them remain broken up, but my son needs to grow up a bit before that has any hope of happening. I suggested therapy, though I doubt my son will look into it. He's at an age where he thinks he knows everything, and he hasn't attained the wisdom to realize that no matter how perfect we think we are, everyone screws up. And sometimes the way we think is very, very wrong. Patrick, I love you, but you need to get your head out of your ass. TLDR, my oldest son and his girlfriend look to be going their separate ways for now. Damn.
That was a hell of an update. Jesus.
Honestly, yeah.
Yep.
I don't even think we need to go in the comments on that, because if you want to hear our official dialogue of it last time, go watch last week's episode, like we said. But I think in the end, I mean, like, look, this is solid. I think this dad is definitely doing good dad things, and from the sounds of it, their marriage is pretty rock solid.
Sounded like it, yeah. I mean, they really kind of figured out their things, and that's really good advice for any relationship. Is, you know, both of you are working in a way that works for you, or for each of you, I should say. So, like, you know, as long as that's working for both of you, then it's fine. But sometimes the outside looking in can be a little bit different. So,
yep,
gotta be mindful of that. But moving on. All right.
Last but not least,
number one. Today I fucked up by accidentally becoming the neighborhood crow whisperer. This is my life now. It all started innocently enough. Saw a lone crow in my yard and tossed it a cracker. Harmless, right? Wrong. That single act of kindness seems to have spread through the crow grapevine, and now I have a full-blown murder of crows as my constant companions. Every morning, I step outside, and they're there, perched in nearby trees, crawling like they are clocking into their day jobs. They follow me on walks, and yesterday one even dropped a shiny gum wrapper at my feet. I think they're trying to pay me in crow currency, which is both endearing and slightly unnerving. At this point, I've accepted my new role as their unofficial snack provider and accidental overlord. I'm genuinely curious to see where this goes. Maybe I'll end up with a crow army or a collection of shiny gifts. Either way, it's a wild ride, and I'm here for it. TLDR, tossed a cracker to one crow. Now there's a whole squad treating me like their leader. My mornings involve cawing, shiny gifts, and embracing the chaos. Hell yeah.
I don't see this as a fuck up, because you now have an army.
Do you see there's a video of the guy that taught crows to bring him coins?
Yes.
And he's just like constantly has a little bit coming in for the food that he feeds them. So, like,
yep,
you can make it work.
You have an army, and you can use it at your disposal at any given moment. Like, imagine you just like kind of nuke someone. Like, you're walking through the park, someone's there you just don't like. You just drop like a handful of crackers, and suddenly, like, just murder. First comment here. I had the opposite experience. Gave some food and water to an injured / sick crow. Sick. That was dying in a field by my house. When I approached it, the crows all around it up in the tree started flipping out. Even years later, even after moving away for a year, they recognized me and followed me through the neighborhood, squawking at me aggressively and picking off little branches and dropping them on me. Apparently, crows and other birds tend to investigate a death and attempt to learn from the experience and assign blame. So just by trying to help the little guy, I got blamed for his death because I was at the scene of the crime before he died.
Wrongfully convicted by a murderer of murder. hurt my brain for a second.
That's yeah. That's a murder of murder. Murder.
Next comment here is, they have gatherings and tell other crows. This can last for many years. I live in a very small state and have been friends with them for a few decades now. You can train them to collect specific things to receive treats. They are scarily smart, but overall sweet and harmless. You've already committed, and they absolutely keep generational grudges, so you're locked in now.
Great grandson reading the prophecy of when the great grandmother started the herd of crows, and now he is the chosen one. He carries this crow to bear.
He is the crow.
The crow. This is the remake we needed. That's a good one.
Have you seen God, what's the show? Schitt's Creek.
I watched very little of Schitt's Creek.
With that one, the mom is in a crow, like a shitty crow movie, like think Vampageddon, but with crows. Like, for reference, awesome movie, by the way. Go watch it if you can find it.
I don't think we've ever referenced that movie on this show. If you have never seen the movie Vampageddon, go watch it.
We found it way back in the day when Netflix, all it had was like shitty B horror movies and
oh my God,
DVDs.
So like, it was so good.
So good, but so bad, but so good.
So bad, but so good. If you want the perfect mix of like underproduction, goth
and
girls,
overproduction at the same time,
and overproduction,
yeah.
Goth girls, boobies,
it was kind of softcore, as I had
rough fight scenes, and dialogue that you will never forget.
We need to watch.
Go watch this movie. Yes, we do, dude. Yes, we do. I need to find it. I need to find out where it's streaming. If not, I'm gonna.
That's what we're gonna do for a podcast. Is we're gonna watch it. We're not gonna watch the whole movie, of course, but we'll take some of the highlights and mash that together.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yep.
Well, I think this is enough. I think we're good.
I think we're good, yeah, considering it was 5 instead of 4.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'll see y'all on Saturday.
Bye.
Later.